law annualizes the data on states that allow right to carry laws. Between the years 1977 to 1999, the states that allow right to carry laws witnessed a 60% decrease in violent attack rates, as well as a 78% reduction in the fatalities that occur from such attacks. Also, gun-free zones are magnets for killers bent on maximizing their body count. They know that they face a less risk of quickly being stopped there. There are numerous cases in which private firearm owners have disabled or disarmed those attempting to murder indiscriminately in public places. Written by Theodore Day, Professor of Finance, Stan LaBrose, and Ashland Smith, Professor of Economics from the University of Texas at Dallas, and Craig Finance Professor at the University of Houston, in a letter printed by the Dallas Morning News. Allowing someone to concealed carry in an area will decrease violence from occurring. State Representative Dennis Backley of Florida said this during debate in the House subcommittee: "If you've got a person that's raped because you wouldn't let them carry a firearm to defend themselves, I think you're responsible." The second argument that we'll be making is that concealed carry firearms on college campuses increases the assurance of personal safety. Students will feel safer by carrying concealed handguns. Students have expressed concerns to me about their ability to protect themselves. It's time that we ensure their safety. Also received from the Washington Post about how Texas college students may soon be able to carry their guns to class. No state has seen a resulting increase in gun violence as a result of legalizing concealed carry. Despite the fact that licensed citizens regularly carry concealed handguns in places like office buildings, movie theaters, grocery stores, shopping malls, restaurants, churches, and banks. Gun-free zones do not prevent crimes. There was a report that 92% of mass shootings since 2009 occurred in gun-free zones. According to an article about how gun-free zones make us less safe, actually the only person who should have felt safe the fateful morning was the killer, because he was the only one harmed. Though deranged, he was rational enough to know where he commit his crimes without risk of anyone stopping him with a gun. Universities and high schools, malls for that matter, are often targets for shootings. Because such a high percentage of schools and malls are gun-free zones, I have to believe there is a correlation. Killers know where they have the highest chance of success. The third argument I will be making is that students and professors on college campuses are responsible enough to carry a concealed firearm. The training for a CHL is strict and focused on the assurance of safety and responsibility. DPS administrators for concealed handgun licensing program under the authority of Texas Government Code Chapter 411, Subchapter HGPS, license individuals to carry concealed handguns, but in Texas evaluates the eligibility of applicants through criminal history, background checks, and monitors that currently licensed to ensure their continued eligibility. DPS also trains and certifies instructors who teach the required courses to applicants. According to the Texas Department of Public Safety, both students and teachers will go through the CHL training to be able to carry on campus. According to an article on students to carry guns on campus to prevent sexual assault, what makes it different when you step on a college campus? She said, "If I'm 22 years old and I carry it home, what makes a difference once I get here? Why am I suddenly not allowed? Or what makes me suddenly irresponsible and not able to own one?" Eamon Keesley, president of the Ohio University's Second Amendment Club. Also, according to an article, instructors should be allowed to carry guns on campuses. Declaring a college campus a gun-free zone may make people feel safer, but as in April 16, 2007...
It's time. Yep. All right. Yep.
Okay. You talked about the Texas regulation laws for carrying a concealed gun. What about other states? What other states' regulations are there for being able to obtain a license?
All different states have different laws. It just kind of depends. This one is focused on Texas because we're here.
Well, it was just on the age of 47 years old for concealed carry on campus. So I was just thinking it was in general for everywhere concealed carry in Texas. But you're talking about that most places, most violent crimes happen in a gun-free zone whenever we're talking about shootings. And you said that these individuals are doing. Is there any sort of psych evaluation test to be able to carry a gun, or is it just, hey, I don't have a criminal record, please go?
Usually it just goes to if they have like a criminal record, because you can't really judge someone's based on their mental ability. If if they do have mental ability, they probably have a criminal record too. So it's,
So you're lumping all mentally disabled and mentally unstable people as criminals now?
1 minute.
It just
Use.
depends.
It just depends. Okay, well, there is ways to psych evaluate people, but so what's to say these people that maybe are carrying, because as psych evaluations now go, you don't fully mature until you're 25. So there's a lot of 21-year-olds, 22-year-olds that are in college, which is very stressful, very anxiety-filled environment. So what if these people already have a pre-existing condition with a gun? What's to stop them from going on shooting spree just because they something snapped?
30 seconds.
I think it just depends on the person, and it's up to that person if they feel that they're old enough, and they are certified. So if they're getting certified by class, they're probably not going to give it to them if they think they're not able to.
Okay.
10 seconds.
Let's keep it going with our negative constructive speaker.
Alright, we move that House Bill 47, the right to carry a firearm on campus, should not be upheld for the following reasons. First, allowing college students to carry a concealed firearm on campus would open the door for violent tragedies to occur. For example, tragedies such as Virginia Tech, Columbine, and Sandy Hook came about as the direct result of youth, mentally unstable youths having access to firearms. College campuses consist almost exclusively of these youths, many of whom could be harboring some sort of psychological condition that can multiply in danger when a gun is added to the mix. The human brain does not fully mature until the age of 25, yet the age to acquire a firearm license is 21. Allowing a 21-year-old whose brain is still developing and is still very impressionable to carry a firearm on a college campus, the sight of many students' anxiety and stress is irresponsible and dangerous to others. Bringing me to my second subpoint, that college and the environment it holds does not promote a safe gun environment. And bring me to my third subclaim, the majority of these youths are not properly trained to use a firearm even at 21, and their impairment in judgment along with improper training could lead to disastrous effects. Second, the majority of students, university, faculty, and citizens across America have come out against allowing concealed carry on campus. Students and campus faculty across America have come out saying that they are against allowing concealed firearms on campus. The president has also come out to say that he is against concealed carry in general. He has stated that I am not in favor of concealed weapons. I think that it creates potential atmosphere where more innocent people could get shot during altercations. And administrators will be scared to police their classrooms. Our own UNT faculty and staff have admitted to being scared to stand up for themselves in a room full of students with guns. 1 against 20, 50, or 100 are not good odds. And finally, if passed, the policy would make policing college campuses even more difficult for law enforcement. They're there to protect the university and could also lead to other legal fiascos. Allowing students to carry firearms on campus would put law enforcement on site in precarious, dangerous, and unnecessary situations. Many legal and financial troubles, both for the university and the state government, could arise from this policy taking place. Concealed carry on campus could lead to other institutions that currently forbid guns to possibly change their stance, leading to the chances of gun violence in more areas. Public campuses are technically government buildings, so if concealed carry on a college campus is allowed to pass for universities, other government institutions may follow suit. This could lead to security risks in sorts of places, including banks, government offices, courthouses, and more. If you are going to your lawyer's office and you say, oh, you didn't give me the vote in my divorce and I'm allowed to have a gun, what's stopping them from shooting at their lawyer just because they're mad about something? Thank you.
So campus is just focusing on Wall Street. So what's so different about
Well, on Wall Street, usually you're, if you're on Wall Street, you're not 21. You're not drinking every night, or the possibility of going to a party and, having a gun, and then alcohol and guns, they don't mix. There's plenty of people out there. A kid from Denton got shot in the ear because he was drinking and they were playing with guns.
Okay, so do you have a gun?
Do I
have a gun? I mean, every
No,
21-year-old in college isn't out drinking. I mean, there is a lot of people, but it is not everyone. So to say that every student, or that they're not capable to have them when they do go through training and they go get a license, they have to be registered for it.
Right.
So to say that they're not prepared or trained to do that, to actually have a gun with them is not correct.
Right, but I'm not saying that they're not prepared, but in the concealed handgun license, it states that you cannot drink alcohol and carry a gun. Concealed carry, as soon as you have a sip of alcohol, you cannot carry your gun anymore, because just for that reason, alcohol and guns are
Okay, so if students own guns with mental disabilities, what about the rest of the public that doesn't get it registered, or their disability actually a name to it? So what about those people? I mean, you don't really know every person that has a mental disability.
Right, that's why we suggested that there be a psych evaluation done, so that if you do have a mental disability,
And what makes you think that they have it already good enough?
that's okay, but if they do have one, then they shouldn't be able to have a gun. That's what we're saying.
Okay.
Ready to go? Oh, hold on a second.
Let's welcome the negative attack speaker.
So in your check to speech, you talked about that individuals are responsible to be able to carry firearms at 21. And like we stated, that the human brain doesn't fully develop until 25. So there's still a lot of maturing, there's still a lot of impressionability that happens, especially in college. I don't know about any of you, but I know that I'm not responsible enough to carry a firearm. And I know that college is not the environment necessarily to be able to have all these people being able to carry a gun. College is synonymous basically with, partying, stupid mistakes, all your golden years, whenever you look back or in college, when you look on the dumb things that you did. A lot of them involve parties, and like my colleague said, that alcohol and guns don't mix. Well, why would we add more to a campus of something that we're trying to prevent against, which is shootings? It's like saying, to fix a termite problem, you just add more termites to the house, and maybe they would fight the other termites, and then the problem would be gone. No, eventually the house is going to collapse. You said that a majority of people do carry firearms with deter crime, and in actuality, it's stated that right here in my notes, that according to a 2012 paper by the FBI, states that passed a gun law between 1977 and 2010 had a 2% or more increase in the murder rate and at least a 9% increase in rates of rape, aggravated assault, robbery, auto theft, burglary, and larceny. Also, college is very much has a problem with date rape and other sorts of sexual assault crimes against women. And according to a study done by RAIN, which is the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, 1 out of every 6 women in American colleges, which is about 14.6%, have been a victim of completed rape. And 17.7 million women have been a victim of completed rape in general in this, every year. In most cases, the criminal is said to have a gun with them and is used to
2
threaten
minutes.
victims. So if we're going to talk about deterring violence, or we let something that could cause such a violent act, especially in an environment that already harbors such problems such as rape and sexual assault on campus, why would we allow that to multiply? Also, most students and most faculty actually are for against concealed carry on campus. In fact, in Florida, there's a petition carried out with over 10,000 signatures, including parents, teachers, and students, against allowing the concealed carry bill to pass. And in a 2013 peer-reviewed study of 16,049 students at 15 college campuses, published in the Journal of American College Health, It stated that 79% would not feel safe if faculty, students, and/or visitors carried concealed weapons on campus. Also, the majority of police that are already there are there to protect the campus. And if you put students out that have the ability to carry firearms, especially with the situations that cops are facing now, with over the past 3 years, you have the Baltimore riots right now, you have Ferguson, the public persona of police has just gone down exponentially. So if you allow these impressionable youths, 21, 22, a lot of them maybe feel like the cops are their enemy in some way. If you allow them to have guns on campus, what's to stop them from maybe an altercation coming out with a police officer, and then you have the next CNN story talking about how a police officer shot a student, where in actuality the student had a firearm and was threatening the officer, or something to that effect. It's not a good idea to allow even the door to be open against this. Also, according to a survey in a 2002 book, the same book, Bias Against Guns, and 3 earlier academic surveys done by different researchers in the Journal of Criminal Justice, there are about 2 million defensive gun uses each year. But in contrast, guns are used offensively 4 times as much more frequently than they are to defend oneself. So, if you are able to, the ability you have to defend yourself.
Time.
All right, questions?
Okay. My first question is, why can't women carry a gun to prevent rape from happening? If they have a gun and if the woman had a gun, like, I feel like they would be able to prevent it if they had one.
I mean, they can have a gun to prevent it, but that's still not stopping the case of a rape, someone attempting rape would also have a gun on them. So not only would it be just a firefight. So you're basically saying, all right, we're going to fight fire with fire. Well, I didn't know college campus was the scene for a Wild West where everyone just shoots to death. But I think just banning guns in general and allowing no one to carry on campus would prevent a situation like that from happening, or at least exponentially.
But how is a woman supposed to prevent rape from happening if they can protect themselves?
Well, if we don't allow concealed carry on campus, you will see that there will be more increases of sexual assault or rape. And, women that are allowed to carry, sure they could, there would be instances where they would be able to protect themselves, but increasing or allowing the law to pass would just increase the amount of cases where she would have to protect herself.
Okay, but why should we deny a right?
Well, the Second Amendment clearly states that a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. This was passed back in a time where we were not only fighting against the British and we were writing the Bill of Rights, but also there were regulated gun laws. There wasn't any sort of directory for who can carry guns. It wasn't as regulated as it is now. And I would hardly say that a militia is needed to protect a college, and that a college campus is necessarily the site for someone to have, the protection of, to have to defend themselves at all times.
30 seconds.
It's not necessarily where I'm walking out and I'm always having to look behind my back to see if someone's trying to get me where I have a gun on my side to be safe.
But how are people supposed to feel safe on college campuses if they can protect themselves?
Because I can walk out here now and still feel safe not having a gun. I don't necessarily feel that being on a college campus instantly makes me scared to walk around or that someone's going to jump me or anything like that.
Time.
All right. Let's welcome our affirmative attack speaker.
Okay, so like you guys stated, my colleague just said before, giving women the right, or not being able to go on the college campus and feel safe. How are we supposed to protect ourselves, and how, you said we're supposed to walk out here right now, and I necessarily you don't automatically know if I feel safe or not. It says that most crimes have happened in gun-free zones, because it says 92% of mass shootings since 2009 occurred in gun-free zones. The CPRC report was released in response to an Every Town for Gun Safety study claiming that only 14% of mass public shootings took place in gun-free zones. And actually, 26 claim such incidents occurred in places where guns were allowed. CPC actually showed that 86% claim rest on every town, including attacks on private homes. It could be like their apartments or dorms or stuff like that. What I'm getting at is yeah. So actually people that should only feel that actually feel unsafe is the person with the gun, because if they were holding it, then they wouldn't go. College campuses don't necessarily ensure the personal safety. Students have expressed concerns about their ability to protect themselves. It's a time when we don't require their safety. They automatically assume that just because you're on a college campus that you automatically should feel safe, which is not necessarily the case at times. I can walk out, and sometimes I'm walking from Willis to my car and I don't feel necessarily safe. So if I was having gun with me and somebody was to attack, I could defend myself. I don't necessarily have to shoot them, but just having that with me, just so they can see that would put fear in you. You know what I mean? So that would defer them from me as a woman. No state has been seen as resulting in violence more when they do allow guns on campus. And all 50 states now allow some form of concealed carry on campus today, despite the fact that the licensed citizens regularly carry concealed handguns in places like office buildings, movie theaters, or grocery stores, shopping malls, restaurants, etc. And gun-free zones do not prevent crimes. Basically saying that
We got questions.
you got questions.
Okay. First of all, I would like to point out the fact that our opponent hasn't done the research. So,
Is that a question?
first of all, why no pepper spray or taser? Why do you feel the need to carry a gun?
Because a gun is more potent than pepper spray.
Oops, sorry. Keep going. Good.
Simply showing a gun is more potent than pepper spray, or what did you say? Taser. It's more. I mean, if I was to look at my purse and say, you see a barrel of a gun in my purse, you would probably get away from me quickly, because there are studies that show that even with pepper spray, they still attack. You know that, right?
Is there like support for that? Can you support?
Personal support. I've been a victim, so I would know that pepper spray doesn't always work.
Okay, something else. When you say most crime happen in a gun-free zone, or concealed weapons laws, they always, why do you think that, like you said, the Baltimore shooting right now, Baltimore riot, yeah, if we have to upload the use of gun, do you think something like that will still happen?
One more time.
The Baltimore riots, you said we should enforce the use of guns. So, do you think something
On
like
college
that will
campuses, the Baltimore riots have nothing to do with the campuses right now.
stop? One more question. You said we should allow for more guns, right? So, why do you think allowing more guns will stop crime? Why allowing more weapons on campuses will stop?
On college campuses.
On college campuses, yeah. Allowing more weapons on college campuses will lower killing rate? I mean, to me, that doesn't make any sense.
Okay. Welcome our affirmative defense speaker.
Okay, ready? For defense of the affirmative article here, obviously I'm simply going to state that the negation did not effectively attack our main 3 points. For starting off, for our first point, in which we stated that the negation did not effectively attack our information, stating on how to bring in a false 1977 report that did not offer a great deal of information. Now, by stating this, I mean that when they gave their statistic about rape, it does not mean much. If a woman is able to carry a firearm on college campus, therefore this statistic is simply saying that there is a slight increase. Nevertheless, 1 out of 6 women being assaulted, I find this to be somewhat facetious. Nevertheless, the negation did not effectively answer Jordan's question during CX3, in which she's the negation did not effectively attack our subpoint of point 1, which we stated that 92% of all mass shootings and gun-free zones have happened. However, during CX4, the negation did not effectively bring up any new. He brought new information, which is technically not allowed, and did not effectively attack our subpoint during CX4. This bill will effectively allow for people of college campuses to be ideally defended themselves within the territory of that college campus. We cannot simply state and assume that therefore because there are more guns on this college campus, that there's going to be an increase of violence. If a woman is able to carry a gun by herself, then she is going to have a greater chance of getting her from an attack. Even if other men are able to carry guns, there's a greater chance for women to survive and to not be raped if she herself is allowed to carry a weapon. The negation assumes that this is false. However, from simple statistics, as we have stated here, is that gun-free zones do not work, and therefore if we are to continue to allow colleges to remain gun-free zones, then as stated by Roper B. from 2015, April 22nd, states the only actual killer the person who should have felt safe during the morning of that shooting was the killer. Therefore, we must assert that the negation is wrong. The judge must vote in favor of the affirmative. Thank you.
So, the very first thing I would like to say is that you talked about gun-free zones and also necessity of safety to defend oneself, and also about states that do not allow guns. You also mentioned something about the Second Amendment law. Well, in our defense, I'll say, first of all, the Second Amendment was very clear about what they said. Well-regulated militia. There is a need for a well-regulated militia. So, students carrying guns on campus, I don't think that's a well-regulated. Second Amendment says you can carry a gun on board unless it's necessary for the security of a free state. But students with guns on campus, I don't think that's necessary for a free state. Also, college safety should be left to the professional qualified police, not students with little or no expert training. So, when you said you need to defend yourself, well, we have securities all over the campus. Why do you feel the need to carry the gun yourself when there are trained police all over the place? Chances are you will try to defend yourself, try to shoot someone, but you will miss, shoot somebody else. Somebody will get mixed in the crossfire. So definitely you will cause more harm than good. Also, some states like Georgia, Maryland, Alaska, Arizona, Vermont, and Wyoming. They don't require training or a permit before getting guns. So these states, they don't require it. There's a high chance that people in these states will definitely apply guns and they will definitely use them to cause more harm than good. Also, concealed weapon laws make the non-carrying public less safe. So there were 3 polls taken about this. The first one was in March 10, 2014, in Illinois Citizen, which concluded that 52.3% of the public felt less safe following the July 2013 passage of law allowing citizens to carry concealed handguns in public and on campus. The second poll was in July 2013, a peer-reviewed study of 1,649 students at 15 colleges, published at the Journal of American College Health, stated that 79% of people on campus will not feel safe if students and teachers carry weapons. And finally, April 2010 poll of registered voters across United States campuses found that 57% feel less safe learning that the person sitting right next to them will have a gun on campus. Also, people and criminals are more likely to carry a gun if they suspect that the victims are armed. So if I suspect that somebody right next to me is carrying a gun, I will also want to carry a gun, which means everybody on the campus will carry a gun. So how would that even help us? How would that help decrease crime? How would that help stop the killing of innocent people? And that's
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've entered the summary period for our debate. Let's start things off with the affirmative. What? Sure, yeah, please. Yeah.
Are you ready? Alright, this House believes that HB 47 should be upheld, that is, concealed carry on campus. The Second Amendment of the United States Constitution reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Ladies and gentlemen, we live in the United States of America. To be specific, we live in Texas. After Heller McDonald and recent other court decisions, it is clear that a total ban of the public carry of ready-to-use handguns outside the home cannot survive a constitutional challenge under any level of scrutiny. A blanket prohibition on carrying a gun in the public prevents a person from defending themselves anywhere except inside his home. The Washington Constitution expressly secures the right of the individual citizen to bear arms in defense to him or her or the state. So do we not get our rights as college students or professors here on campus? Are we lesser than that of a United States individual citizen?
1 minute.
Should we just let these mass shootings occur on campus and run around like little ants and with no defense against the individual with the weapon? As Jordan stated earlier, statistics prove how gun-free zones are a magnet for criminals, assuring no individual can defend themselves. 92% of mass shootings occur within gun-free zones themselves. And as a negative side, the negative side stated that being a gun-free zone on campus, that does not ensure that the mentally disabled are going to bring guns to school. Just because students are 21 and they're not mental prepared enough to own a gun as a 25-year-old would be, there are still people that get their license as 21-year-olds who are carrying guns around in the public. So what's the difference between someone carrying them in the public and bringing them on campus than allowing students to carry them on campus already? And as they said, also that students are involved with drugs and alcohol and partying and, being irresponsible. Well, college students may be 21, and so are people who are carrying guns. There's alcohol everywhere, there's drugs everywhere, there's stress everywhere. It's not just on campus. Also, there's not going to be students going to the bathroom and taking shots and then coming back to class without getting, caught or kicked off campus or suspended. Gun-free zones do not just keep mentally disabled people from carrying guns. It's not that
they can't carry them anywhere. This is about campus. There are going to be mental students. There's mental people everywhere. Everyone, but you have to be 21 to carry a concealed weapon, whether it's on campus, whether it's at the grocery store, whether it's a mother walking her dog and her children through a park. The mentally disabled isn't just for college students. It's anyone could be mentally disabled and be carrying a handgun. So, and on the rape side, if a woman on campus was getting
30 seconds.
was getting pushed towards rape or being threatened by somebody, it's not always that the rapist is going to be carrying a gun. As they said, there's alcohol-induced rape, there's drug-induced rape. So if college students are partying and there's a rape incident and they're not carrying a gun, I think that
10
they'd be more
seconds.
afraid to approach a woman who is carrying a gun than a woman who is not.
Time.
So we moved the House Bill 47, which is the right to carry concealed on campus, should not be upheld. Y'all stated, Jordan stated that that one of your quotes was that the person getting raped is responsible if they're not having a gun. How can you, as mostly women, 3 women, say that a girl can be responsible for rape? Like, she was asking, that's the same as someone saying, I was asking for it, or I was showing too much cleavage, or my shorts were too short, like, oh, I'm asking for it because I don't carry a gun. And then you just said that, not carrying, that being in a party campus, being in a party environment, and a girl wouldn't, someone wouldn't approach them with a gun, well, that's illegal. Because you can't be drinking and have a gun on you. Whether you're on, off campus, like, you cannot have a gun if you consume alcohol. That is illegal. So why even have a gun when you can't have one while drinking? We said that allowing college students to carry a concealed firearm on campus would open the door for violent tragedies. Y'all stated that you're fighting fire with fire. That everyone should carry a gun because it's going to be safer that way. Well, no, it's not. And you also said that a person with a gun feels unsafe. Well, how are you going to put a gun in someone's hands if someone feels unsafe? That doesn't make sense. Also, we said that our second point was that the majority of students, faculty, and staff across America have come out against it. If students don't want to carry guns and faculty feel unsafe about being in a classroom, then what's the point of approving the law? And thirdly, we said that if passed, the policy would make policing college campuses more difficult because the law enforcement they have, there are people that here to protect us, but there's not that many. So Wild West shooting breaks out, you can't, it's just going to be, they're outnumbered. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our debate. We have